So I was gonna wake up this morning to finish up this final recap. I just have these right here and more in the box right over there. So yeah, let's get this started. The first album is right here is the Wiz soundtrack, released in 1978. You guys should know the Wiz, basically the African American version of The Wizard of Oz, Diana Ross, Nipsey Russell, Michael Jackson, Richard Pryor. You guys know what it is. Yeah, this is a very dope soundtrack. I think this is the first time. This soundtrack was like the first time that Michael and Quincy Jones worked together because you know the song "You Can't Win" and shit like that. Yeah, very dope soundtrack and shit like that. It's the Wiz, so I was surprised I found this in stores. Next album is Rufus and Shaka Khan's with their Master Jam and shit like that. My opinion, this is their best album, an album that I don't really hear that many people talk about. Like the Wiz, Quincy Jones produced the whole of this album, like right after Off the Wall. So if you guys are a fan of that sound, you guys will most likely love this album. Singles I was known for are "Do You Love What You Feel," and I also believe Master Jam was a single. What's up, Immobilarity? How you doing, bro? But yeah, this is definitely one of my favorite Shaka Khan, Rufus and Shaka Khan albums. Like, I just love the production on this, just the sound, everything about this. And it wouldn't be a vinyl collection without my girl Aretha Franklin. So, Let Me In Your Life, released in 1974. Yeah, 1974. Very dope album by Aretha Franklin. This was during at a time like her peak at that time. Singles albums known for are Until You Come Back to Me. That's what I'm gonna do. And she also, I think, Let Me In Your Life and shit. But yeah, this is album, very good album. Then she dropped, I think she dropped this album the year prior. Hey, Hey Now, Hey, The Other Side of the Sky. This is a very slept on album. This is another one that was produced by Quincy Jones and shit like that. Think about this album kind of went for that more jazzy kind of side, which a lot of people weren't kind of used to from Aretha Franklin. So I think the singles that was known were "Hey Now Hey" and "Angel," which is one of my favorite Aretha Franklin songs. Very dope album. Heights. Then we got Def Leppard's Pyromania, released in 1983. Very good album. Def Leppard definitely probably among my favorite like glam rock, glam metal groups, whatever you want to say. This album, High and Dry and Hysteria are my favorite albums from them. But this was really the album that put them out there, like kind of like their breakthrough album and shit like that. Yeah, I did hear you mention that, bro. Like my favorite songs, singles I was known for are, I think, Rock Photograph. Love that song Photograph. Like, I remember when I first heard that song back in middle school, just the fucking chorus got to me like, photograph. I don't want like yeah. Fuck that. Rock of Ages. Yeah. And yeah, this is a very dope album. Highly recommended. Mothers of Inventions, We're Only In It For The Money, released in 1967. This album right here, oh my god, like all my Frank Zappa heads should know about this album. This album was basically like it was a satire of like the hippie movement, Peace Corps and shit like that. And of course you can see here is like a satire of the whole Sgt. Pepper album. Yeah, very dope album and shit like that. Frank Zappa, he's not an artist like that's for everybody and shit like that. So yeah, I can understand how he can be a quiet taste with some people. Then we have Ohio Players with Skin Tight, released in 1974. Yeah, this is one of my probably my second favorite Ohio Players album and shit. This album is, let me see. Yeah, this album, I think they left their other label. I think it was called Westwood and shit like that. But yeah, very dope album and shit. Singles, I think singles albums known for are Skin Tight and Heaven Must Be Like This, and I believe Jive Turkey and shit. Yeah. One thing I've realized about Ohio players, which I was looking up, that was very interesting, was like they was come to the studio and they were basically just improvise and shit like that. So I never knew that from the Ohio players. So, but if you listen to them, especially the Honey album, and you will know what I'm talking about, which is my favorite album from them. Then we have Tina Turner with Private Dancer. Damn them legs. Oh my god. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Released in 1984. This was her official solo debut. Away from Ike Turner, because if you guys would have known, she did drop solo albums before, but she was still under the whole Ike and Tina review. This was her official solo album. Very dope album. It's a classic album by many. This album was very, very big back in the mid 80s and shit. Like, What's Love Got to Do with It? Her cover of Let's Stay Together in 1984, Private Dancer. Like, come on, man. Dope album. Then we have Ike and Tina Turner, ironically, with Nutbush City Limits, released in 1973. Very, very, very funky and shit like that. The late 60s to early to mid 70s, Ike and Turner's music, I just realized, were like a lot more funkier and just, yeah, very dope album from them on shit like that. Yeah. Then we got Mad Villain, Madlib and MF Doom, and shit like that. Do I even need to talk about this hip hop album? Very, very groundbreaking, very dope and shit like that. The shit that a lot of people are doing now, they were kind of doing like a decade prior and shit like that. So I think singles albums known for it were what's that one single? I think Meat Grinder. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna do a review on this album and shit like that. But oh yeah, definitely love the back cover, bro. Yeah, very good album. Then we have Bob Marley and the Wailers, Catch a Fire, released in 1973. This album right here, all my reggae heads should know about this album and shit. Not even just reggae. I'm sorry, not even reggae. Everybody should know about this album. This is basically his breakthrough album in America. Yeah, I think the singles released off this album was Kinky Reggae, which is probably my favorite Bob Marley and the Wailers song ever. Like, you hear that bass line, oh my god, Stir It Up. Yeah, very dope album and shit. Is it my favorite album from him? No, that honor will probably go to Exodus and shit. So, this album right here is just definitely a dope album, like a perfect summertime album right here. Then we have The Beatles' Revolver, released in 1966. Very good album from the Beatles. I'm not like the biggest Beatles fan, so yeah, just to let you guys know, but I like mostly the later stuff. Really? I definitely got to get into like their earlier shit when they were like in the late 60s, when they were really known as a ska band and shit. But yeah, I'm not really the biggest fan of the Beatles. I mostly prefer like their later stuff when they were older and not doing that whole boy band crap and shit like that. But this album right here, very psychedelic. I feel like this album is more psychedelic than Sgt. Pepper. But a lot of people want to be like Sgt. Pepper, where Sgt. Pepper was okay. It was cool and everything, but this album was like more gritty and more darker, like in my opinion. Yeah. And singles albums known for are, let me see, singles. Eleanor Rigby, I know that was a single. I believe Here, Then, Everywhere. Yeah. Well, anyway, but fuck it. Yeah. I'll probably do a review on this album one day. Whew. Hot Butter Soul, Isaac Hayes. This album, probably, in my opinion, this album kind of ushered in a new direction for soul music in the 70s and shit, because this was a very progressive album and stuff like that. Although this album was like, had like 4 songs, it still ran over like 30 minutes because this nigga was having like 20-minute cover songs and shit, but he still made it his own. But anyway, the singles that it was known for are Walk On By, the cover of the Dionne Warwick song, I think Hyperlic, Symbolic, Sesquidolimus, that long ass name and shit. Yeah. Very dope album. I love everything about this. The production. Because it's crazy because this was actually his second album. I heard his first album, Presenting Isaac Hayes, and he almost quit the music business because it didn't go anywhere, but he did his album, and the rest is history. Hot Butter Soul, Isaac Hayes. And if you guys are listening, I'm playing Sadat X in the background, Wild Cowboy. So, Rolling Stones, Tattoo You, released in 1981. One of my favorite albums from them. This album, it kind of caused some debate over a lot of people because they don't know whether to call it a regular studio album or not, because this was basically like unreleased material that they were working on, especially with Goat's Head Soup era, It's Only Rock and Roll and shit, and they just reworked it in the studio between 80 and 81. Singles albums known for are Start Me Up, Worried About You, Waiting on a Friend, and I believe Lil TNA was, no, Hang Fire was the next single. Yeah, very good album from there. It definitely has that early 80s classic rock kind of sound, but with a twist. I did a review on this, so you guys should know how I feel. Then we have Aretha Franklin's Aretha, released in 1980. Very dope album right here. Kind of slept on if you ask me, because this was released at a time when... Give me 1 second, I'm sorry. I'm back. This was released at a time when Aretha, her stuff between 76, 77 and 80, she was kind of going for that more disco-ish sound and shit like that, like a lot of artists were. And so this album came out, it kind of put her back up there. Like, the early to mid 80s was definitely like a comeback period for her, but yeah, singles albums known for are United Together, and I believe What a Fool Believes, which is the cover of the Doobie Brothers song. Yeah, very classic album in my opinion. Then we have the Rolling Stones again with Sticky Fingers, released in 1971. Very good album from the Rolling Stones. Must have in your collection. Probably my favorite album from them, next to Exile on Main Street. Singles albums known for are Brown Sugar, Sway, and Wild Horses. Very good album. Then we got Busta Rhymes' The Coming, released in 1996. Yeah. This album right here, very good album and shit like that. Classic album. Probably my second favorite Busta Rhymes album, next to ELE, Extinction Level Front. Yeah, singles albums known for are Woo Ha, Got You All in Check. Woo Ha, Got You All in Check, It's a Party, and I believe Everything Remains Raw was a single, but it was more like a street single. But yeah, must have in your collection. Then we have Marvin Gaye's Hear My Dear, released in 1978. My favorite Marvin Gaye album. This album, I've mentioned this album countless times. This is probably my favorite R&B and soul album of all time as well. Like, cause he did this album when he was going through a divorce, You guys should know the story because he married Berry Gordy's, I would say, sister, yeah. And she basically wanted, basically, alimony, child support, and shit like that. So he basically dedicated his album to her. And a little trivia, Nas's Life is Good album was inspired by this album too. So just to throw that out there. Singles albums known for are A Funky Space Reincarnation, Is That Enough? And I want to say When Did I Stop Loving You? And shit. Yeah, very dope album. I love this album so much. It's a classic album. Then we have Earth, Wind, and Fire with Rays, released in 1981. This album right here, very, very experimental album and shit like that. This was released, I would say this would be one of their last great albums from them, because their stuff after this album was hit or miss though, but I'm going to re-listen to them soon. So yeah, singles albums known for are Let's Groove, Wanna Be With You, which actually got them a Grammy and stuff, and I think Caliber Tree. Very good album. Love this album. Alright. Then we have Barry White with I've Got So Much to Give. I believe this is actually his debut album and stuff like that. Very, very, very dope album. Classic album. Well, yeah, man, what can I say about Barry White? Singles I was known for are I've Gotten to Love You Just a Little Bit More, Baby. I've Got So Much to Give. Yeah. Very dope album. Love this album. Then we have Teddy Pendergrass with It's Time for Love, released in 1981. In my opinion, this is probably my favorite Teddy Pendergrass album. Something about this album, I don't know if it's the production, but everything about this album was just on some other shit. Singles I was known for are You're My Latest, My Greatest Inspiration, and I Can't Live Without Your Love. Very dope album. Quiet Storm, you know. Then we have Funkadelic with Uncle Jam Wants You, released in 1979. This is a classic album, in my opinion. I always say Funkadelic is like the more hardcore funk, the dirty funk, as opposed to Parliament. Whereas Parliament is like more melodic and more soulful. But yeah, singles albums known for. Damn, what's the track listing at? Hold up. Okay, yeah, I found it. Singles albums known for not just Knee Deep. You guys definitely should know about that song. And I think Freak of the Week though, but yeah, man, very dope album and shit like that. Classic. Then we have Barry White with Stone Gone, released in 1973, the same year. Yeah, 73. Second album, another good album from Barry White and shit like that. Singles albums known for, I want to say the singles. I think Never Gonna Give You Up was the only single, but yeah, I need to do some review on Barry White album. I'm trying to get some more shit from him. This album right here, Sly and the Family Stone with Stand. Oh my god. I recently done reviews on Sly and the Family Stone. This album right here is just perfect in my opinion. Very good album. Definitely has that like summertime feel, like you're dancing in the street feel to it. But singles I was known for are I Want to Take You Higher and Everyday People. I think Stan was a single, but yeah. Very dope album. Alright, now I'm about to get my box right quick, so. Okay. So, for the box collection, I'm a thank God my battery's still in good standing and shit. We got The Time's debut album, The Time, released in 1981. Um, a very good album and shit like that. Love the album cover to this. Definitely has that like kind of like that dark nighttime kind of funk to it. Singles album's known for Cool and Get It Up. I think TLC did a cover of Get It Up and shit like that for the Poetic Justice soundtrack, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, Morris Day, Jerome, you guys should know about The Time. Then continuing on the Prince train, I have Controversy by Prince, released in 1981. By the way, happy birthday, Prince. Yeah, very, very dope album. Love this album and shit like that. This was really the beginning of his purple phase and shit like that. Yeah, singles album is known for Controversy, Do Me Baby, Sexuality, Private Joy, and shit like that. Definitely Annie Christian is a very dope song. Very slept on, if you ask me. So yeah, Prince, Controversy, very good album. Then we have The Time Again with What Time Is It? Released in 1982. Probably my favorite album from the... Well, their first two albums are my favorite albums from them. But this one I kind of give it a slight edge and shit like that. And yeah. Singles albums known for are 7779311, Gigolos Get Lonely 2, and The Walk. Very dope album. I love this album and shit like that. Then a review on that one. Freddie Jackson, Rock Me Tonight, released in 1985. Freddie Jackson, you guys know who he is. Popular R&B singer of the pop R&B singer in like the 80s and early 90s and shit like that. Singles album is known for You Are My Lady, Rock Me Tonight, and yeah, very good. And then you have Nori's debut album, solo debut I should say, released in 1998. Dope album and shit like that. Very, very good album. Probably my favorite solo album from Nori. I think after the next one, he just kind of went hit or miss for me. But singles I was known for are Banned from TV and stuff like that. I want to say I think I Love My Life, Super Thug. All my Neptune said you know about that song. But yeah, I wish Nori would get back to making dope music. I wish he would get better production on his recent shit. But anyway. Above the Law, Living Like Hustlers, released in 1990. Very dope album, very influential on the West Coast. Definitely. Oh shit, I didn't even know his pops died back in 98. Thanks for that side note. Singles I was known for are Murder Rap, Untouchable, and yeah, I think those are the only two singles. Yeah, I feel like this is the album where G-Funk was really having his roots and shit like that, because you know Dre was producing the hell out of this album. Well, Dre and I think 187 was producing the hell out of this album and shit. Very good album. I need to get some more of their albums, but it's very hard to come by. Very hard. Then we have Kool and the Gang, Light of Worlds, released in 1974. Are you talking about the Above the Law album or this album that's ahead of its time? Because either or I can accept. Yeah, this album right here. Whenever I talk about Kool and the Gang, I always talk about three versions of Kool and the Gang, basically. The Jazz Fusion era. Okay, but appreciate that. The Jazz Fusion era, which was part of this album was part of. The commercially funk disco, which everyone knows, and the bullshit adult contemporary yacht walk shit they were doing in the 80s, like cherish the love. Get the fuck out of here. Other than that, Light of World, this album was definitely a very good album and stuff like that. Very dope album and shit. And this was before JT came to the group and shit. Cause you guys should know JT was the lead singer who sang like a lot of the group's most popular albums and popular songs. Singles albums known for, I think the only singles were, I think Summer Madness. Yeah, Summer Madness. Everyone knows about that song. Very good album. Heat Wave, Too Hot to Handle, released in 1976. Very good album right here. For all my Michael Jackson fans, the dude Rod Temperton, this was his group. Rod Temperton, rest in peace. A very underrated, dope songwriter. Singles albums known for are Boogie Nights, Always and Forever, and I think Too Hot to Handle was a single. Yeah, very good album. I love Heatwave. I feel like that's a group that never gets the due and shit like that. If you guys have a chance, check out that Unsung if you can find it. Very good Unsung episode. I just wish that TV One would do a better job licensing the episodes, but that's another story for a different day. Michael McDonald with his self-titled debut, released in 1981. Very dope album from Michael McDonald. Yeah, man. I need to get my hands on that Central Healing album though, but yeah, that's hard to come by where I'm at. Michael McDonald, basically a very dope artist and shit. Singles albums known for are I Keep Forgetting, which I never knew that was a cover song and shit like that. It's from this dude. I forgot the name of the dude, but yeah, I'll find it and shit like that. I Keep Forgetting, and I think I Gotta Try. So yeah, very dope album. And I'll be right back. I'm gonna charge my phone for a little bit. I'm gonna charge it for maybe about 20% and shit, and just finish the rest of this box because it's not that much. So I'll be right back.